Welcome to the second half of our free webinar on cost accounting. So let us now tackle the second topic, process costing. So, ano nga ba itong process costing at ano pinagkaiba niya sa job order costing? Ang process costing system, ito ay ginagamit ng mga companies na may continuous mass production. So meaning, araw-araw may mga production sila araw-araw, whether or not may customer orders. Basta araw-araw po tuloy-tuloy lang ang kanilang production. Examples nito ay mga basic commodities, no? Example would be toothpaste, mga sabon. Tuloy-tuloy lang ang production ng mga yan and they are similar products, no? Mga pare-parehong produkto lang ang ginagawa nila araw-araw. Unlike sa job order costing, iba-iba kasi yung nature ng mga projects nila, tama? So pagdating sa process costing, pare-pareho lang yung mga produktong ginagawa nila per production run. Okay? And normally, these companies have several departments. So for example, sa Department 1, nandito po nila ginagawa yung forming, then sa second department, assembly, and sa Department 3, may finishing sila. No? Usually, ganun po yung nature ng mga companies na gumagamit ng process costing system. Now, when it comes to the process costing system, guys, no, the elements, the materials, labor, overhead, they may be applied either uniformly throughout the process or at different stages of production. Pag sinabi nating uniformly throughout the process, ano lang siya, tuloy-tuloy ka lang nag-a-apply ng product cost, no? Tuloy-tuloy lang as the product goes into the process. Pag sinabi nating at different stages of production, may specific point sa production process na nag-a-add ka ng product cost. For example, sa materials, it is the company's policy to add materials at 50% completion, at the beginning of production, at 90% point of production, etc. Yan po yung different stages of production. Okay? Next. Let's distinguish job order from process costing. So as to usage, nabanggit na natin to kanina, tama? Job order costing is being used by companies producing unique products or jobs. While process costing, these are being used by companies that produce large volume of similar or identical products in a continuous flow. As to the work in process account, we are under the job order costing. They are setting up one work in process account for each job. So kung meron silang 5 jobs or projects, meron po silang 5 work in process accounts sa libro nila. Di ba? 1:1 kumbaga. Pagdating sa process costing, one work in process account per department. Okay? So kung meron kang 2 department, may 2 kang work in process account. Kung may 5 kang department, edi may 5 kang work in process account, right? When it comes to accounting documents, job order costing utilize costing sheets or job costing sheets. For process costing, gumagawa po sila ng tinatawag nating cost of production report. Later on, i-discuss natin kung ano ba ang mga information na nakikita sa cost of production report. In determining the manufacturing cost, under job order costing for each job, no? Kasi syempre iba-iba yung time na natatapos ang kada isang project sa job order costing. So, we are determining the manufacturing cost for each job. But for process costing, every period. Since identical products naman kasi yung pinoproduce ng mga companies that are using process costing system, usually every month, every quarter, di ba? Basta each period palagi ang pag-aalam nila or pagdedetermine ng cost. For the unit cost computation, ito po, nakita na natin kung paano ginagawa ito kanina. Cost of each job divided by the number of units in that job. Okay? Pero pagdating sa process costing, may panibagong concept. equivalent units of production ang denominator natin. Later on, didiscuss natin ano itong EUP na ito. No? Yan po yung EUP natin. Okay? Yan. So papunta po tayo sa exciting part. What are the methods in determining cost flow in your process costing? We have two methods, class. May tinatawag tayong weighted average method and first in, first out method or FIFO. Anong pinagkaiba nilang dalawa? Pag sinabi nating weighted average method, pinaghahalo nila lahat ng units. Regardless kung nanggaling siya sa beginning work in process or sa current period production, ihahalo natin yan. Okay po? So that's for under weighted average method. Pag first in, first out naman, pinaghihiwalay natin yung units from the beginning work in process at yung mga current period production na units. Okay? Pinaghihiwalay natin. Kumbaga, may specifics ang FIFO method. Okay po? Now, ito lang ang tatandaan between these two methods. They only differ in the treatment of beginning work in process. Kaya kung napapansin nyo, si weighted average, whether the goods came from or the units came from beginning work in process or sa current period production run, walang pakialam si weighted average. Pinaghahalo lang sila. Pero pagdating sa first in, first out, pinaghihiwalay yung units from beginning work in process and units from current period production. Why? Kasi magkakatalo sila sa treatment ng beginning inventory. Okay? Later on, makikita nyo ano ang pagkakaiba ng dalawa pagdating sa beginning work in process. Okay? Now, what are the procedures or steps in applying the process costing system? We have 6 steps. Okay? Let's discuss them one by one. The first step is to determine the total units to account for or TUTAF. Tinatawag ko siyang TUTAF kasi masyado siyang mahaba. No? Total units to account for. How do we compute for TUTAF? Number of units in the beginning work in process plus the number of units started this period. So that's your formula for TUTAF. Second, determine the total units as accounted for or TUAF. Paano naman natin kino-compute ang TUAF? That would be the number of units transferred out plus units in ending inventory or ending work in process inventory plus loss units. Okay? Yan. Mamaya na natin i-discuss si loss units. Ngayon, in-include ko lang muna siya sa computation para may starting point tayo. Okay po? Now, tandaan nyo lang po na, napindot. Tandaan nyo lang, class, na ang TUTAF at TUAF, it must be equal. Kung magkano po ang nakuha niyo sa TUTAF, yun din sana makukuha kay TUTAF. Yun dapat ang makukuha. TUTAF must always equal TUAF. Gets? Number 3. Calculate the EUPs or equivalent units of production. Ano ba tong EUP, sir? Nabanggit mo na to kanina eh. Ano nga ba tong EUP na to? Pag sinabi nating EUP, these are approximation of the number of whole units of output that could have been produced during the period. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Approximation of the number of whole units. Anong ibig sabihin nun? So, pagdating sa EUP, nag-estimate tayo, class. No? Nag-estimate tayo ng number of whole units. Ang nature kasi ng process costing is production run per batch, right? Pag per batch yung production run natin, let's say for example, one batch, 100 units of product. Okay, ulitin ko ha. One batch is 100 units. Per batch includes 100 units of the product. Ang basis ng process costing is, ano ba? Yung batch or yung number of products? Answer, yung batch. Okay? Yung batch ang basis niya. So ibig sabihin, hindi matatapos ang isang batch hanggat hindi natatapos lahat ng 100 units ng product. Okay? So ang usual basis natin sa EUP would be the percentage of work completed on that particular branch. On that particular batch. Naintindihan? For example, lahat ng 100 units sa batch na to ay nandoon na siya sa 4th department. 5 department meron yung kumpanya. So, 4 out of 5 departments, that is already 80%, right? So, under the process costing system, ang sa tingin niya, 80% complete na yung batch. Pero kung titignan natin, wala pang natatapos kahit ni isa doon sa mga produkto sa batch na yon. Hence, in computing the EUP, the formula is number of whole units multiplied by percentage of work done. So, ibig sabihin, doon sa example ko, kung 80% complete na siya, and there are 100 units of product in that batch, 100 units times 80%, ibig sabihin, may nakikita tayong 80 units tapos na. But when in fact, wala pa talagang natatapos. Diba? Ginagawa lang natin yon for purposes of computing the unit cost. Okay? Kaya medyo, sasabihin ko na sa inyo, medyo komplikado si process costing because of those approximations. No? Pero mamaya, gagawin nating madali yan. No? Basta makinig lang kayo sa webinar na to. Okay? So after determining your EUP, the fourth step is compute the total cost to account for or TCTAF, no? Actually, this is the counterpart of step 1. Yung sa step 1 kasi, that is in terms of number of units. But for number 4, this is in terms of total cost na. Okay? Kumbaga, ito na yung counterpart niya. Right? Number 5, yung TCTAF, paano natin kinocompute? Cost of your beginning work in process and the cost of the current period production. Okay? For step number 5, that is to compute the cost per EUP. How do we compute for the cost per EUP? Actually, this is your unit cost in process costing. So, di ba may dalawang methods tayo, no? So, pakita ko na. May dalawang methods tayo. May weighted average, may FIFO. Magkaiba pa yung computation ng ating unit cost. Kung ikaw ay naka-weighted average, the cost per EUP will be equal to the cost of the beginning inventory plus current period production cost, then divide their sum by the EUP computed under weighted average. Okay? Then pag FIFO naman po ang ginagamit natin, the numerator will be simply equal to the current period production cost. We do not include the cost of beginning work in process under FIFO. May sariling mundo ang beginning work in process kay FIFO. You will divide the current period production cost by the EUP computed under FIFO. Okay? Sa ngayon, medyo malabo pa kasi puro concepts pa lang dinidiscuss natin. Pero later on, pag nag-discuss na tayo ng problems, magiging malinaw to. Okay? And the last step, cost assignment. Okay? In essence, ang application ng process costing at ng job order costing, guys, pareho lang talaga when in terms of the procedure. Pero yung kumbaga the way how do we compute, doon po sila magkakatalo. Mas mahaba yung or mas marami yung ginagawa sa process costing system kaysa sa job order. All right? I hope everything is clear, no? Yeah. So that's how you will assign cost to units. Number of EUP multiplied by cost per EUP. So mahalaga step 3 at step 5, no? Yan. Now, I will show you how you will compute for your EUPs, no? Wala mo nang pasukan ng losses, okay? Para hindi masyadong mahirap pagkakaintindi dito, no? wala mo ng production losses. Later on na. Yan. So, dalawang table po ito for weighted average and FIFO. Okay? Sige. So, how do we do this? For the first two columns, class, tatawagin natin itong direct materials. At yung sa next column, mga conversion costs. Okay? Pinaghihiwalay natin yung direct materials from the sum of your direct labor and overhead. Okay? Tandaan nyo, itong conversion cost, this is equal to the sum of direct labor and overhead. Okay? From your basic cost accounting, conversion cost is equal to the sum of direct labor and overhead. Okay? Sir, ba't mo hiniwalay si direct materials? Ba't mo siya hiniwalay doon sa conversion cost? Kasi ang direct materials, usually, ina-add yan at specific point in the production. While your conversion costs, they are being added uniformly throughout the production. So, ibig sabihin, kung nag-add ka ng direct labor, may kasamang overhead siya. Kumbaga, kambal sila. Hindi sila mapaghiwalay. No? Yung direct materials, ina-add siya at specific point in production. Okay? Sige, let's start. Weighted average method, this will start at, medyo hindi pala nababasa, wait lang ha. Let's start with transferred out units. Ano tong mga transferred out units, sir? Ito yung mga tapos na sa production. Meaning, from work in process, papunta na siya sa finished goods inventory. Okay? And we will be adding the units in ending work in process inventory. Okay? Yan. Then, actually, ito po yung formula ng total units as accounted for. Yung 2F po yung magiging kabilang sa table natin. No? Yung 2F or yung step number 1, nakahiwalay siya dito. Siya po kasi ang magiging basis ng 2F natin. Naiintindihan ba? Okay? Sige. Now, when it comes to the transferred out units under your weighted average method, you will extend 100% always. Extend 100%. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, kung magkaan or ilan yung transferred out units, yan po yung i-extend natin for direct materials and direct labor. Yan. Then, pagdating sa units in EWIP, lagyan lang natin ng asterisk to kasi depende ito sa circumstances no? Let's say, for example, the materials are added at the start of production. So, when it comes to direct materials, you will extend 100% in that case. Since added na pala silang lahat sa simula pa lang, so yung mga units mo sa ending inventory, may 100% materials na. Okay? But if the materials are added at different points in production, well, depende yon, no? Yan. Yan po yung i-extend natin kay direct materials. Then pagdating sa conversion cost naman, this is equal to percentage of work done. Ibig sabihin ilang porsyento na natatapos yung mga produkto in terms of conversion cost. Yan po yung ating i-extend. Okay po? Yan. Then kapag pinag-add natin yan, yan po yung tinatawag nating weighted average EUP. Ito sila. Okay? Next. Pag FIFO naman, sa FIFO, hinihiwalay natin yung units ng beginning work in process. Di ba? So, ang una nating lalagay dito would be beginning work in process transferred out. BWIP to. Tinatawag ko siyang BWIP to. No? Beginning work in process transferred out. Yung pangalawa niya, started, completed, and transferred out. SC to naman. Actually, pag pinagsama natin tong dalawang to, equal lang din siya dito sa transferred out units natin. Okay po? Hiniwalay lang talaga natin yung units na nasa beginning work in process inventory. Okay? Then, units in EWIP. Then, yan pa rin. 2F pa rin yung nandiyan. Okay? So, as to direct materials and conversion, how do we extend? Sa BWIP to natin, when it comes to direct materials, percentage to complete. Ibig sabihin, ano pa yung kulang, no? Kung ano yung kulang, yun po ang i-extend natin with respect to your BWIP to, no? Ganon din po pagdating sa conversion cost, percentage to complete. Okay? Sa SC to naman, that will always be 100%. Okay? Then sa units in EWIP, ganun din, asterisk lang natin, depende kasi yan sa circumstances, no? Yan. Ganun din dito, no? Percentage of work done. Yan. So kung ano man yung makompute natin sa baba nila, itong dalawang to, tinatawag na natin itong FIFO EUP. Clear? So ito yung kumbaga pro forma EUP schedule natin, no? Pro forma lang 'yan. Okay? Para mas maging malinaw, i-apply natin 'yan sa problems ng process costing sa the same file natin. Okay? Sige. Problem 1 tayo. I hope ano naman no, medyo nakakahabol tayo, no? Sige. So problem 1, that's Senpai Corporation. We have 2 cases. Senpai Corporation has the following information for July. Yeah, so beginning work in process, started in process, ending work in process, and their related costs. Okay? All materials are added at the start of the process, and all completed goods are transferred to finished goods inventory. Case 1. The company uses a method that does not distinguish between units started in the current month and those started in the prior month. So, hindi ko agad binigay kung anong method yung gagamitin sa case number 1. Kasi gusto kong ma-analyze nyo muna kung alin sa dalawa yung gagamitin natin. Is it the weighted average method or the FIFO method? Based on the description stated in case number 1, a method that does not distinguish between units started this month and those started last month, ano yun? Weighted average. So our case number 1, we will be using weighted average. Okay? Intindihin nyo yun ha, pag weighted average, hinahalo natin lahat ng units. Regardless kung nanggaling siya sa beginning, work in process, or ngayon lang siya nasimulan. Okay po? Sige. So, let's start with your computation of EUP. Ready na? Oh. Sundan natin yung steps ng process costing para maging malinaw sa inyo yung 6 steps natin. Okay? Number 1, what's the first step? First step is determine your 2TAF, right? So let's start with that. How do we compute for your 2TAF? That will be the number of units in BWIP, right? Plus units started. So this will be your first step, 2TAF. So based on this problem, how many units are there in the beginning work in process? Meron daw tayong 22,500 units. Tapos, units started is 81,000. How much is your 2TAF here? So 22,500 plus 81,000, is that 103,500? Yes. So this is your step 1. Okay. Step number 2, determine your 2F. So under the weighted average method, your 2F is computed as, di ko pala napalitan, wait lang nawala sa isip ko magpalit ng kulay. Ayan. So transferred out units, right? Plus units in EWIP. So this will be your 2F. Okay? And take note, 2F must always equal your 2TAF. So pwede natin kopyahin yung nakuha natin kanina. So 2F is also 103,500. No? Kopyahin lang natin siya sa step 1. Then, based on the given information, there are 28,200 in your ending work in process. So this is 28,200, right? So kailangan na lang natin ma-determine ilang units ang natapos. Okay? So, paki-squeeze out nga lang, magkano tuloy, ilang units ang natapos? You should get 75,300, no? Kumbaga, pina-workback natin pataas. No? 103,500 less 28,200. So in this case, 75,300 units pala yung natapos ni company this period or netong July. Tama po? Now, we can now prepare your EUP schedule from here. So, nandito po sila direct materials and conversion costs. Okay? Ano sabi natin kanina? When it comes to transferred out units, we always extend ilang percent? 100%. Kasi tapos na yan eh. So, simply extend 75,300 as to direct materials and extend the same amount to conversion costs. Okay po? Sir, ganyan ba't palagi ang case sa transferred out units? 100%? Yes. Kasi tapos na sila. Okay? When it comes to the units in ending work in process, tignan natin muna kung kailan inad yung materials. Di ba ang sabi sa second paragraph natin, all materials are added at the start of the process. So yung mga units natin sa ending work in process, di ba mga nasimulan na to guys? Mga nasimulan na sila sa production. Hence, 100% complete na sila sa materials. So, with respect to the direct materials, we will extend 100%. Okay? Pag nakita nyo sa problem na all materials are added at the start, meaning 100% complete agad sila sa materials. Okay? Then, when it comes to conversion costs, tignan natin kung ano yung status niya as to conversion. So, ending work in process inventory, and 85% incomplete. So paki-underline or highlight yon, incomplete pa siya, 85% incomplete. So kung 85% incomplete pa siya as to conversion, ilang porsyentong kompleto na siya? That is 15%. So 15% lang po ang i-extend natin when it comes to the conversion. Okay? So ilan yon? What's the 15% of 28,200? Is that 4,230? Naintindihan ba? Then, compute for your weighted average EUP, guys. Step number 3. So, with respect to direct materials, ang dapat na makuha natin ay 103,500. And when it comes to conversion, 79,530. Okay? So yan po sagot natin sa number 1 and number 2. Okay? Sir, anong ibig sabihin ng mga numerong ito? Gusto namin maintindihan. Explain ko ah. As to direct materials, all units are already done. Ibig sabihin, kompleto na sila sa materials. But when it comes to conversion cost, out of the 103,500 units, lumalabas 79,530 units pa lang ang tapos with respect to conversion costs. Kumbaga, ito na po yung mga unit cost natin. Naintindihan, guys. Okay? So that's your step number 3. Okay po? Step number 4, computation of your TC/TAF or total cost to account for. Gagawin natin siya sa ilalim ng EUP schedule. So, first, lagay natin yung cost ng DWIP, no? DWIP cost muna tayo. Then, current period production cost, CPPC na lang. Okay? Current period production cost. Let's start. As to DM, magkano yung beginning work in process natin? Magkano yung materials sa BWIP? 76,500. Pagdating sa conversion, magkano yung BWIP natin? 158,175. Then, for the current period production cost, materials cost, 102,900. And conversion is 242,535. Okay? Yan. Paki-compute nga, magkano yung total direct materials cost and total conversion cost. Dapat ang makuha natin dyan ay 179,400 and 400,710. Take note mga peso na to ah. Mga cost na kasi to eh. Okay? Yan. So how do you compute for your total cost to account for here? Simply add 179,400 and 410,710. So magkano to? Paki-add nga. So 179,400 plus 407.10. So the total cost to account for is 580,110. Okay? Yan po yung total cost to account for natin. Okay? So that's step number 4. Step number 5, compute for the cost per EUP. Okay? So since na-compute na natin yung total cost of direct materials and total cost of conversion cost, we simply divide this by the EUPs, no? I-divide lang natin sila ng kanilang EUP. Okay? So, ibababa lang natin ito. So, 179,400 divided by 103,500 units. Tapos, sa conversion cost, ganun din, ibababa lang natin si 79,530. So, what will be your weighted average cost per EUP? So, for direct materials, dapat meron tayong 1.73 per unit. And for conversion cost, 5.04 per unit. I hope nakakasunod ang lahat. Di ba? Mas mahaba lang talaga siya kesa kay job order costing. Okay? Now, number 3, what is the total cost assigned to the units completed and transferred to finished goods inventory? Yan. Okay. So, dito na natin computein sa dulo, no? Let me just erase this one. So, number 4, madali lang siya ma-compute actually. Kasi based on our EUP schedule, sa direct materials at direct conversion cost, pareho lang sila. Tama? So, that will be 75,300 units times total cost per EUP. Since pareho lang yan, pwede nating ipag-add na lang itong si 1.73 at si 5.04. Okay? Paki-add nga, ilan ito? So this is 1.73 plus 5.04. We get 6.77 per unit. So for number 4, multiply nyo yan ng 6.77 per unit. Ano sagot natin sa number 4? So this should be 509,781. So answer for number 4 is 509,781. Okay? Then, number 5. Ang tanong sa atin sa number 5, what is the total cost assigned to the ending work in process? Based on our EUP schedule, we can see that magkaiba yung EUP as to direct materials and EUP as to conversion ng EWIP natin. Hence, we cannot use the 6.77 per unit. Ang gagawin natin is specific yung pagkaka-compute natin, no? Paano specific, sir? DM plus CC talaga. Okay? So, sundan natin yung schedule. 28,200 units times 1.73. Then, pagdating sa conversion cost, that will be 4,230 units times 5.04. So, kukomputin nyo isa-isa to, no? How much is the direct materials cost? How much is the conversion cost? So, dapat ang makuha natin dito sa number 5, EWIP cost will be 70,105. Yan po dapat makuha natin dyan. Are we clear? I hope everything is clear for case number 1. Okay? So, ito po yung mga final answers natin, no? For numbers 1 to 5. Okay? O, kamusta si process costing, guys? Mas maano siya, no? Mas ma-procedural kaysa sa job order costing. Okay? Pero take note, weighted average pa lang yan. Kung ganyang katrabaho si weighted average, what more pagdating kay FIFO? No? Ayan. So, we are done with case number 1. Let's now go to case number 2. So, for case number 2, the company uses a method that is more accurate in representing the physical flow of units. Ang ganda ng pagkaka-describe ng FIFO dito, right? Alam nating FIFO to. More accurate in representing the physical flow of units. Meaning yan, nauna yung mga unang na in process at nauhuli yung mga kakapasok sa process, right? FIFO. Okay? So case number 2, that's FIFO. So again, let us compute for the EUP. No? So tandaan nyo, ito po yung ating step 1, 2 tough. Same. Okay? Whether you are using weighted average or FIFO, the 2 tough will always be the same. Okay? So, let's start with your step number 2 na agad. Pag FIFO, magsisimula tayo sa BWIP to, then SC to kasunod niya. No? Ano nga ulit ibig sabihin ng mga to, sir? Beginning work in process, transferred out, and started, completed, and transferred out. ni-split natin yung transferred out units. Kumbaga, specific siya, no? And EWIP to, no? Tawagin ko na ng EWIP units to. Yan, EWIP units para mas maikli, no? So pag pinag-add natin yan, ang tawag natin is 2F na. Okay? 2F natin is 103,500. Am I correct? Di ba 103,500 yan? Now, lagay natin ilang units yung nasa ending work in process natin. Ilang units to? 28,200. Okay? So based on this information, makikita natin na ang total units transferred out is magkano ulit? 75,300. Right? So pag pinag-add natin tong dalawang to, si BWIP to at si SC to, makakakuha tayo ng 75,300. Okay? But kailangan natin siyang gawing specific. Ilang units ang nasa beginning work in process natin? Meron daw tayo doong 22,500. So lagay natin si 22,500 dito. Then you squeeze out SC to. So that's just by deducting 22,500 from 75,300 to squeeze out SC to. No? So ilan yon? Is that 52,800? Yes. So yung naging goal natin dito is ma-identify ilang units galing sa BWIP ang na-transferred out na, ilang units ang na-transferred out from your current period production run. Okay? Yan. So that's your FIFO. Then, extend ulit natin sila in terms of direct materials and conversion. Yan. BWIP to tayo. Di ba ang sabi natin kanina sa proforma na EUP schedule, percentage to complete. Ang sabi sa materials, all materials are added at the start of the process. So sa simula pa lang pala, kumpleto na siya sa materials. Ang mga units sa beginning work in process, matanong ko kayo, kailan sinimulan to? Last period or this period? Di ba last period pa yan nasimulan? Hence, last period, kumpleto na sila sa materials. May kailangan pa bang idagdag sa materials this period? Wala na. So, we will extend 0% with respect to direct materials. So, wala po tayong i-extend sa direct materials galing BWIP to. Wala eh. Kumpleto na pala no simula. Tama? So, wala ka nang kukumplituhin pa. Right? Next. As to conversion, ang sabi, it is already 75% complete as to conversion. So since last period pa siya tinatrabaho, 75% complete na siya last period. So ilang porsyento na lang ang pupunuin this period? 25%. So 25% lang ang i-extend natin sa conversion with respect to your BWIP. Okay? So ilan yon? Is that 5,625? Okay? Naintindihan ba si BWIP to class? Kaya hinihiwalay siya. Kasi magkaiba yung percentage na i-extend sa kanya laban kay SC to. Kay SC to kasi, ngayon na simulan, ngayon natapos, ngayon na transfer out. So always 100%. Okay? So 52,800 ang extend natin dyan. Then sa EWIP units, the same na siya as to your weighted average method. No? Materials are added at the start. Kailan sinimulan yung mga units na nasa ending work in process? Ngayon lang. So, ngayong period lang natapos as to materials. So 100%. 28,200. Then, ang status niya as to conversion cost, 85% incomplete. Hence, nakatapos pa lang siya ng 15% sa ngayon. So, ilan ito? 4,230. Yan. So how much are your FIFO EUPs? So for direct materials, we will be having 81,000. And with respect to your conversion cost, 62,655. So ito naman yung sagot sa case 2 number 1 and number 2. Gets? Naintindihan na ba yung pagkakaiba ni weighted average at ni FIFO? Si FIFO, stricto siya when it comes to your beginning working process. Okay? Yan. Right? Next. Tuloy natin, no? So let us now compute for the cost per EUP, no? Diretsuhin natin siya sa cost per EUP. Pagdating sa FIFO class, we do not include the cost of your beginning work in process sa numerator ng pag-compute ng cost per EUP. We do not include that. Ang i-include lang natin would be the current period production cost. So for materials, meron tayong 102,900. And for the conversion cost, 242,535. Okay? Sir, what about the BWIP? Saan natin ilalagay yan? Later on, papakita ko sa iyo kung saan ilalagay. But in computing for the FIFO cost per EUP, we only include current period production costs. No? So 102,900 divided by 81,000 units and 242,535 divided by 62,655 units. So what will be our FIFO cost per EUP? So dapat ang makuha natin dyan ay for materials, 1.27 per unit. And for conversion, 3.87 per unit. Okay? So ito na po yung mga FIFO cost per EUP natin. Naintindihan? Okay? Next. Number 3. What is the total cost assigned to the units completed and transferred to finished goods inventory? Oh, number 3 tayo. Yan. How do we compute for the total cost of transferred out units using FIFO? We will begin with the total cost of BWIP, no? So, tawagin natin itong BWIP cost. Paki-add ang materials na 76,500 at yung 158,175 na conversion. Okay? Yan po magiging starting point natin sa kanya. So, BWIP cost will be equal to 234,675. Tama? That's the sum of the given BWIP cost. 76,500 plus 158,175. Then, from there, we will be adding cost to complete. Sir, ano ibig mo sabihin sa cost to complete? Base yan sa EUP schedule niya. Di ba? Di ba sa BWIP to, hindi tayo nag-extend sa DM, pero may in-extend tayo sa conversion cost niya. So, when it comes to the DM, this is 0. Wala ka nang in-extend kasi. But when it comes to conversion cost, that will be 5625 units times 3.87 per unit. Pausog ko lang saglit. Para may space. So ilan to? Ulit? 234, 675 pala. Yun. Then sa direct materials, 0. Then conversion cost niya, magkano yung conversion? 21,679. So this is the cost of BWIP to. So the total cost of BWIP to is 256,444. Okay? Sir, yan na ba yung sagot? Hindi pa. Take note, may SC2 pa tayo. So, add pa tayo ng cost of SC2. Paano kinocompute to, sir? Nakita naman natin pareho sila sa materials at conversion, tama? So, pwede natin kuhain yung total cost per EUP niya. So, paki-add lang ang 1.27 at 3.87. So, ilan to? 1.27 plus 3.87. So, meron tayong 5.14 per unit. So, for the SC2, 52,800 times 5.14 per unit. So, magkano yan? 271,392. Ito pa lang po ang sagot ng number 3, no? Total cost of transferred out units. So, paki-add, magkano to? 527,836. So, yan po sagot sa number 3 natin. Clear? Naintindihan? Di ba? Mas matrabaho si FIFO because na-segregate yung beginning working process niya. Right? Then for the last item, total cost assigned to the EWIP. Ito, kaya nyo na to guys. Kasi based on our EUP schedule, magkaiba yung EUP na direct materials at CC. Hence, kailangan natin i-separate yung computation. So 28,200 times 1.27 per unit plus conversion cost. 4,230 times 3.87 per unit. So, how much will be our EWIP cost? Ang dapat na makuha natin dyan ay 52,814. That will be your answer for number 4. Nagkakaintindihan po ba tayo, guys? Kaya pa? Katapos, so we are done with the first problem. Ilang problems pa ba? May dalawa pa, no? Yun, problems 2 and 3. Pero I hope na kuha nyo yung basic gist ng process costing. Ganyan lang talaga siya, no? Ganyan lang talaga ang process costing natin. Okay? Yan. Okay. Yung kanina, walang production loss. Ngayon, pasukan na natin siya ng production loss. I believe okay naman kayo sa basic concepts ng process costing without losses. Tama? Ngayon, dagdagan na natin yung concepts na aaralin sa kanya. Now, may makikita tayong table dito na may CL at DL. No? Anong ibig sabihin ng CL at DL? So, this is continuous loss and discrete loss. Yan. So in process costing, meron tayong tinatawag na continuous loss and discrete loss. Okay? Basic characteristic. Ano pinagkaiba ng continuous loss at ng discrete loss? Ano indicator niya sa problem? Pag continuous loss, without inspection point. Pag discrete loss, there is an inspection point. Okay? Yan usually ang indicator natin for continuous and discrete loss. No? Pag walang inspection point, nalalaman na lang ng company na nagkakaroon tayo ng loss units at the end of production. Pero kapag discrete loss, may mga certain inspection points na nakaset si company. No? Pwedeng at 80% completion, i-inspect na agad yung goods. Diba? So kung may loss units, in that case, ang tawag sa mga loss units na yan, discrete loss. Okay? Pero papasok pa rin of course sila normal and abnormal loss. Hindi mawawala yung dalawa. Okay? Now, ano treatment natin sa normal loss, under continuous loss, and discrete loss? Answer, pag normal loss, we do not extend EUP pag continuous. Do not extend EUP for normal losses under continuous loss case. Bakit? Because when pag sinabi nating normal loss, it is already part of our production, right? Yes, sir. Di ba may dalawa tayong case kanina? It's either due to internal failure or due to customer specification. Ba't dito parang sinasabi nyo dahil nasa production? Tandaan nyo, ang mga companies na gumagamit ng process costing system ay nagpo-produce whether or not may customer orders. Hence, hindi na natin tinitignan kung due to internal failure or due to customer specifications because hindi naman natin ina-account yung mga requests nila. Basta tayo, tuloy-tuloy lang ang production run natin. Naiintindihan po ba? Okay? So hence, lahat ng losses ay dahil sa production process. Okay? The reason why we do not extend EUP kapag normal loss and continuous loss kasi hindi natin ma-pinpoint kung saang specific point ng production process nagkaroon ng loss. Okay? Nangyari ba siya sa simula, sa gitna, o sa dulo? There's no way of knowing that. Example ng continuous normal loss ay shrinkage. Di ba? So kapag gumagawa ka ng produkto, throughout the process, lumiliit siya or nag-shrink. Hindi natin ma-pinpoint saang punto ng production process nagkaroon ng shrinkage. Right? Hence, we do not extend EUP pag normal continuous loss. Naintindihan ba? Okay? Next. Abnormal loss. Ano treatment natin kapag continuous abnormal loss? Answer? Extend 100% EUP. Bakit magkaiba yung rule when it comes to abnormal and normal loss sa continuous loss? Tatandaan nyo, ang normal loss, parte siya ng inventory cost, right? Or ng product cost. So, kahit hindi na tayo mag-extend ng EUP sa kanya, indirectly, nakakapag-assign tayo ng normal loss cost sa mga units natin. Pero pagdating sa abnormal loss kasi, we cannot assign, no? We cannot assign abnormal loss cost sa mga units kasi nga ang treatment natin sa abnormal loss ay period cost. Ini-expense natin. Hence, we should or we need to extend 100% EUP sa kanya para maihiwalay natin siya sa production. Naintindihan ba? Bakit 100%? Wala nga point, sa dulo mo malalaman na may losses ka na. Di ba pagdating sa dulo, 100% complete na sila? Hence, yan po ang rule. Are we clear, class? Okay? So that's for continuous loss. Pagdating sa discrete loss, okay? Whether normal or abnormal loss yan, extend, no? Extend EUP up to a certain point. Ganon din si abnormal loss. Hindi natin masabi kung ano yung certain point na yon because it entirely depends on the inspection point. Nakukuha ba? So yun po muna tandaan natin na pag discrete loss, we always extend EUP on the normal and abnormal loss but they are up to a certain point only. Kasi depende yan sa inspection point natin. Are we clear? Okay? I hope everything is clear because we will now answer the last two problems. Okay, buhay pa? Sana buhay pa, no? Sige. So problem 2. The following information is available for Zoom company for the current year. Yan. Now, nakikita natin meron ng mga spoilages, no? So, madadagdagan po yung nasa schedules natin. All materials are added at the start of production. Spoiled units are determined to be 10% of the units started during the current year, and spoilage normally occurs throughout the production process. Assume the company uses the weighted average method. Napakalinaw nung second paragraph. Ang sabi ay yung spoilage occurs throughout the production process. So what do you think is the case? Is it continuous or discrete? Answer? Continuous. Diba? Wala ring inspection point na banggit. So, this is already a continuous loss. Okay? So, let us reconstruct our EUP schedule. Since weighted average, mas maikli to, right? Magsisimula pa rin naman tayo sa transferred out units and EWIP units. Okay? Di ba hanggang dyan tayo kanina? Ngayon, pasukan na natin sila ng loss units. So, add normal loss units and abnormal loss units. Pag pinag-add natin lahat yan, actually, siya pa rin si 2F. Okay po? Yan. Ready na? So, kumbaga, nag-add lang tayo ng mga loss units dito. Tsaka kung babalikan nyo kasi yung step number 2 natin, your 2F is equal to the sum of transferred out units, work in process, or ending work in process inventory units, and loss units. So, eto na sila, normal and abnormal. Okay? Sige. Now, kindly compute for your 2TAF. Step 1 tayo, 2TAF. Computein natin si 2TAF. So, BWIP units plus units started. BWIP units natin, 14,500 units. Units started, 75,000 units. Ilan 2TAF natin? Is that 89,500? So 2TAF is 89,500. Pakikopya yan for 2F. So 2F, 89,500. Okay? Always remember, 2F must always equal 2TAF. Now, how many units are there in the abnormal spoilage? 5 units. Lagay natin. Ilan yung normal loss units? Sir, hindi given. Okay. Blanco siya. But there is a way to compute for that. Di ba ang sabi sa second paragraph, spoiled units are determined to be 10% of the units started during the year. Ilan ba yung nasimulan? Ilan yung nasimulan? 75,000. Kuhain nyo nga yung 10% niya. So, ilan? 7,500, right? So, ibig sabihin, total of 7,500 units are considered loss units. So, pag pinag-add natin ito, 7,500 daw yan. Di ba? Out of 7,500, 2,500 ang abnormal. So, ilan yung normal? Squeeze out. 7,500 minus 2,500, 5,000. Di ba? Sundan nyo lang yung problem. Right? Okay tayo ha? Naintindihan ha? Yan. Now, how many units are there in the ending work in process? 16,000 units. So based on this information, ilan kaya yung mga natapos na? Squeeze out nyo na lang, class, no? 89,500 less 25 less 5,000 less 16,000. Ilan ang transferred out units? 66,000. Klaro? Yan. So let me just erase this one para may space tayo. Then, set up na natin yung EUP schedule. So direct materials and conversion. Transferred out units, we always extend at 100%. So 66,000 sila dito. Kasi palaging 100%, 100%. EWIP. Kailan inad yung materials? At the start. So ibig sabihin, 100% complete na pala siya with respect to materials. So we extend 16,000. When it comes to the conversion, 60% complete na daw siya. So 60% lang ang i-extend natin. So magkano yon? 96. Okay? Next, normal loss units. Ano nga ulit case natin, class? Continuous, discrete. Continuous. Hence, we do not extend. Wala tayong i-extend kay normal loss units. Parang ano lang, we turn a blind eye from that. Okay? Nakuha So no extensions of EUP sa normal loss units. But pagdating sa abnormal loss units, you always extend 100%. Kasi ibubukod natin siya. Naintindihan po? Yan. So compute for your weighted average EUP in this case. So that will be 84,500 for direct materials and 78,100 for conversion. Klaro? Okay? Next. Cost per EUP agad, no? Siguro naman okay naman na tayo dito, tama? So pagsamahin natin yung cost ng BWIP at ng current cost under weighted average since kinokommingle natin sila. So BWIP and current period production costs. Materials, BWIP, that's 25,100 and conversion 50. Current period, 120,000 for materials and 300,000 conversion. Pa-total, so sa direct materials cost, meron tayong 145,100 and 350,000 for conversion. Then divide this by our weighted average cost per EUP. 84,500 units, then divided by 78,100. Tama ba? 100. Yan. So what's our weighted average cost per EUP? Ang dapat na makuha natin dyan ay 1.72 for materials and ano isa? 4.48 per unit for conversion. Okay. Next. Let us now compute for the total cost assigned to units transferred out. So number 2. Transferred out units. Cost of transferred out units. So that would be 66,000 times, since pareho lang sila sa EUP natin, pwede niyong kuhain yung total cost per EUP natin. 1.72 plus 4.48, ilan to? $6.2, tama? So times 6.20 per unit. So magkano ito? 409, 200. Tama ba? Yes. Okay? Tapos na ba? Not yet. Tandaan nyo, dahil may normal loss tayo, ina-assign natin ang normal loss sa mga good units. Okay? Ay, sir, so ibig sabihin, sir, yung mga good units, pasok pa rin siya sa process costing? Yes, pasok pa rin siya. Paano natin malalaman kung good units sila? In the context of process costing, malalaman agad natin na good units kapag nakalagpas na sila ng inspection point. Okay? So pagdating sa process costing, for a unit to be considered as a good unit, dapat nakalagpas siya ng inspection point. Hanggat hindi pa siya nakakalagpas ng inspection point, hindi pa po siya pwedeng ma-consider as good units because may chances pang ma-discard siya sa production. Di ba? May chances siyang ma-discard sa production. So, in this case, problem number 2, sino ang mga good units? Answer, yung mga na-transfer out pa lang. So, dito pa lang natin i-add yung cost of normal loss units. Mag-a-add tayo. But, since it is a continuous loss, kita po natin wala tayong in-extend sa EUP schedule, wala tayong ilalagay sa kanya. Okay? Eh di sir, paano tayo mag-a-assign ng normal loss units cost sa transferred out units? Answer, actually nasa loob na siya ng 6.20. Ha? Paano nangyari yun, sir? Kasi 'di ba, based on the rules ng mathematics, pag bumababa ang iyong denominator, ano nangyayari sa unit cost? Tumataas. So yung 6.20 per unit na yan, meron na siyang element ng normal loss sa loob. Hindi lang natin siya napansin kanina. Kasi naka-zero out siya dito sa EUP, right? So ibig sabihin yan, since wala kang in-extend na EUP sa normal loss units, bumaba yung EUP, which will result into a higher unit cost. Okay? So ganyan po ang nagiging case kapag continuous loss. Okay? So problem 3, makikita nyo kapag naging discrete, ano naman ang mangyayari. Okay? So ang magiging sagot natin sa number 2 is 409,200. Naintindihan ba? Next, number 3. What is the total cost assigned to the partially finished units? Ano ibig sabihin pag sinabi natin partially finished units? These are the units in your ending work in process. Partially done pa lang sila. No? Pinaganda ko lang yung pagtawag kay EWIP dito. So, how do we compute for that? So, EWIP, so that would be DM plus CC. So, based on EUP schedule, nag-extend tayo ng 16,000 units sa DM. So, times 1.72 per unit. And sa conversion cost, nag-extend tayo ng 96 times 4.48 per unit. So, dapat ang makuha natin sa kanya dyan, cost of EWIP should be 70,542. Yan. Okay? Okay pa tayo, guys? So that's number 3. 70,542. Number 4, total cost assigned to the normal loss units. Actually, nasagot na natin. Sagot natin sa 4, 0 po. 0 lang. Kasi wala tayong in-extend sa EUP schedule niya. Tama po ba? Okay? Then for number 5, what is the total cost assigned to the abnormal loss units? So based on our EUP schedule, parehong 2,500 yung in-extend with respect to materials and conversion. So for that, pwede naman natin gawin 2,500 units times yung total cost per EUP. 6.20 per unit. So magkano cost ng abnormal loss units? 15,500. Nagkakaintindihan po ba tayo? Okay? Yan. I hope naiintindihan nyo yung nagiging flow natin sa process costing, no? Hindi natin maiiwasan kasi yung mahabang proseso ni process costing, no? Tsaka, ito yung parang, kumbaga, ma-ensure natin na tama yung mga sagot natin, no? Or yung isasagot sa exam, right? So, we are done with problem number 2. So, that's for continuous loss. Okay? Sige. Hinga tayo ng konti. 5-minute break ulit. Then, let us now answer problem number 3, the last problem. So, at 5:35, no? Let's continue. Ayan, okay. So I hope lahat ay nakapag-ano na, no? Nakapagpahinga kahit papaano, no? So last problem tayo, the third problem of process costing, seek company. Yan. Sige. So seek company has the following information for July. All materials are added at the start. Spoiled units are determined to be 8.50% of the units started during the year. Seek company inspects goods at 75% complete as to conversion. Assume that the cost per EUP for material and conversion are 1 peso and 1.50 respectively. Yan. So, mas sabi natin medyo magaan na si problem 3 kasi given na maagad si cost per EUP, no? Sige. So, what is the EUPs for materials and conversion under weighted average? And for number 2, what about FIFO naman? Sige. So, sagutan muna natin yung number 1. So, for the last time, for weighted average, magsi-start tayo kay transferred out units. Account natin yung mga EUP units na rin, no? Then, normal loss and abnormal loss. Okay. So, computein pa ba natin si TUTAF? Sanay na kayo, di ba? So, pwede natin diretsuin siya sa 2F, no? So, magkano 2F natin? 120. 20,000 units in the beginning working process plus units started, 100,000 units. So, this is 120,000. Let me just move a little bit. So, 120,000. Ayan. Okay? Next. Normal spoilage natin is 3.5. Lagay natin siya rito. Then, abnormal spoilage is not known. Pero, there is a way to compute for that. Take note, sa second paragraph natin, class. Wait lang. May napindot lang. So, spoiled units are determined to be 8.50% of the units started during the current year. Ilan ba ang nasimulan? 100,000 units. So, get the 8.5% of that. We will be getting 8.5, right? 8.5 units. So, pag pinag-add natin yan, 8.5 sila. So, ilan yung abnormal? That is 5K, right? Yan. Naintindihan na? Yan. Ginawa lang natin siyang guide. Then, ilan yung units na nasa ending work in process daw? 14.5, no? So, lagay natin. So, ilan po yung na-transfer out na units? Squeeze out nyo lang. Ilan to? This is 97,000. Okay. Then, direct materials and conversion. Transferred out units, always at 100%. Ending work in process, kailan inad yung materials? At the start. So, ibig sabihin, 100% complete na siya as to materials. So, that would be 14,500. As to conversion cost, 70% complete na pala. So, we will only extend 70%. So, magkano 70% ng 14,500? 10,150. Okay? Are we clear? Next. Now, ito na. Normal loss and abnormal loss. May inspection point ba tayo for problem number 3? Yes, meron. At 75% completion as to conversion. So, pag may inspection point tayo, we classify these losses as discrete losses. So, pag discrete losses, do we extend normal loss? Answer? Yes. Paano natin extend, sir? Ang sabi natin kanina sa table, up to a certain point only. So, paano natin malalaman yung certain point? As to materials, tignan nyo kung kailan na-add yung materials. Di ba? At the start pa lang na-add na yung materials. So, ibig sabihin, etong mga normal loss units natin, 100% complete na pala agad sa materials. So, we will extend 100%. Naintindihan? Since materials are added at the start, sa simula pa lang, kumpleto na yung mga units when it comes to materials. So yung mga normal loss units natin, 100% ang extension. As to materials, what about conversion costs? We extend normal loss based on their inspection point. And inspection point, di ba 75%? So ibig sabihin, hanggang dyan lang ang conversion niya. 75% ang i-extend natin sa conversion niya. Bakit, sir? Kasi pag once nalaman na loss units na sila, sa tingin nyo, itutuloy pa nila yung production when it comes to those units? Hindi na. They will discard them na from the production process. Pero, since ang inspection point natin, 75% point, natapos ang 75% bago malaman na loss units na sila. Okay? Nasundan? So, magkano 75% niya? 2,625. Then, pagdating sa abnormal loss, the same percentages po tayo. We extend 100% as to materials and we extend 75% as to conversion. So, that will be 3,750. Okay? So for number 1, what are our EUPs? This will be 120,000 and 113,525. So yan na po sagot natin for number 1. I hope everything is clear for number 1. Number 2, ang pinapakompute sa atin dyan, EUP pa rin naman pero under FIFO. So, sana natatandaan pa yung kanina, no? Sa FIFO, ang tanging pinagkaiba lang is hinihiwalay natin yung transferred out units into BWIP to and SC to. Then the others, pare-pareho na yan. So, EWIP, normal and abnormal loss. Okay? 2F, still at 120,000. Lagyan natin ng mga laman to. So, beginning work in process natin is 20,000. Tapos, since alam naman natin kung ilang units yung na-transferred out from number 1, so 97,000 less 20, we will have 77,000 here. Kasi tandaan nyo, ang sum ng BWIP to at SC to is simply equal to your transferred out units. Okay? Then, EWIP, kopyahin lang natin, 14,500, and for the losses, copy lang. Yan. Mapapansin nyo, ano pa rin siya? Equal pa rin siya sa 120,000. Okay? Then, extend it with respect to direct materials and conversion. Since materials are added at the start, kailan nasimulan yung mga units nang nasa BWIP? Last year? Or last period or this period? Last period pa, no? So, ibig sabihin, last period, kompleto na siya. Wala na tayong pupunuin sa ngayon. So, we extend 0% as to materials. Then, sabi dito, beginning work in process, 35% complete as to conversion. So, ilan pa ipupunuin natin, guys? 65%. So, this will be 13,000. Okay? SC to, always extend 100%. Then, pare-pareho na yan, no? So, sa EWIP, 100% na sa materials. Then, 70% as to conversion. Normal loss, 100% sa materials. And 75% as to conversion. 2,625. And abnormal loss, 100% and 75%. So magkano ang FIFO EUPs natin. That will be 100,000 and 106,525. Yan. Okay po. So yan ang sagot natin sa numbers 1 and 2. Then for number 3, what is the cost assigned to normal spoilage? Sundin lang natin yung ating EUP schedule. Sa materials, 3.5, tama? 3.5 units times magkano cost per EUP given? Piso, right? So 1 peso. Then plus conversion. Sa conversion, 2,625 units times 1.50. So magkano yun? 3,938. So magkano po yung cost ng normal loss units? 7,438. Okay? So number 3, sagot natin is 7,438. Pag discrete loss, meron na tayong i-assign sa kanyang cost. Okay? Pero pag continuous loss, wala tayong ina-assign sa kanya. Kasi nasa loob na agad siya ng mga cost per EUP natin. Number 4, what is the amount of period cost for July using FIFO? So actually, wala naman na bearing kung FIFO or weighted average yan since pareho lang ang EUP natin whether weighted average or FIFO pagdating sa mga loss units. Okay? So this will be direct materials, 5,000 times piso plus conversion cost. So 3,750 times 1.50. Magkano to? 5,625. Okay. So cost of abnormal loss is magkano to? 10,625. Claro? So that's your numbers 1 to 4. Next, numbers 5 and 6. Using weighted average, what is the total cost assigned to the transferred out units? Okay. So, transferred out units, ilan nga yung yung EUP niya sa weighted average? 97,000, right? 97,000 times the combined cost per EUP. So, 2.50 yan. Magkano yon? 242,500. Yan na ba yon? Not yet. Plus cost of normal loss. Now, magkano nga ulit cost ng normal loss natin? 7,438. Tama? Ano treatment natin sa normal loss? As discussed earlier, we assign normal loss to good units. Right? So, ano nga ba ulit ang definition ng good units in the context of process costing? These are the units that pass the inspection point. Tama? So, ano nga ulit inspection point natin dito? Di ba 75%? So, sino na yung mga nakalagpas ng 75% point? Usually, yung mga transferred out units. Tama po? What about your units in the ending work in process? Nakapasa na ba sila? Hindi pa. Kasi ang completion status pa lang nila is 70%, no? So hindi pa pala nakakaabot ng 75%. Hence, all cost of normal loss will be assigned to your transferred out units. No? So 7,438. So magkano ang total cost of transferred out units. Is that 249,938? So yan ang sagot sa number 5. Pagdating sa discrete loss, usually nakakalimutan i-add yung cost ng normal loss. So, palaging tandaan nyo to. See, 7,438. Ina-add natin yan sa cost ng transferred out units. Okay? Yan. So, that's for number 5. Now, number 6, FIFO. What is the total cost assigned to the transferred out units? Pag FIFO naman, pag FIFO tayo, mas mahaba nga lang yung computation. Pero sige, tuloy natin. Mag-start tayo sa cost ng BWIP. No? So, BWIP cost. So, BWIP cost natin, materials is 15,000 and conversion 10,000. So, 25,000. Plus, cost to complete. Based on our FIFO EUP schedule, sa direct materials, wala nang in-extend, so 0. Pero sa conversion cost, meron pa 13,000. No? So sa direct materials, 0 na tayo. Pero sa conversion cost, that will be 13, tama ba? 13,000 times 1.50 na given cost per EUP. So this is 19,500. So magkano yung total cost ng BWIP natin? That is 44,500 plus cost of SCTO. Ilang units yung SCTO natin? 77,000. So 77,000 times 2.50, since yan po yung given na cost per EUPs, magkano to? 192,500. And don't forget about the cost of normal loss. Usually, pag ano na yung parang, alam niyo na yung parang brain exhaust na kayo sa ang daming kino-compute, nakakalimutan nyo si normal loss. No? So, palagi kong i-highlight na i-add nyo si normal loss. No? So, ano po sagot natin sa number 6? 244,438. So, yan naman po ang sagot ng number 6. Ayos? Okay? Yan. And the last number. Tama lang, oh. 7 minutes, tapos na tayo, no? What is the cost assigned to the units in the ending working process? So, pagdating dyan, regardless kung tumitingin tayo sa weighted average or sa FIFO EUP schedule, same lang naman yung EUP ng EWIP natin, no? So, for the DM, 14,500 times piso plus conversion cost, ilan yung naka-extend sa kanya? 10,150 times 1.50. So how much is this? 15,525. Ay, mali. 225 pala. Okay? Yan lang ba? Answer? May insert pa akong isa. Kasi tandaan nyo, ang ating normal loss ina-assign sa mga good units. And there are chances or there is a chance na ang mga units na nasa ending work in process natin ay magiging good units din. So pag naging good units yung mga units natin sa ending work in process, magkakaroon din sila ng share sa normal loss cost. Okay? So may isa pang component actually yung pag-compute ng ating EWIP cost. That would be share in the cost of normal loss. But since in this problem, 70% completed pa lang sila, ang ating inspection point 75%, hence wala pa silang share. Okay? Nakuha ba? Hence 0. So what will be our answer for number 7? So how much is the cost of EWIP? So that will be 29,725. Right? Sige. So, ito lang po tatandaan nyo pagdating kay EWIP. May mga instances na magkakaroon siya ng share sa normal loss. No? Can have a share in the normal loss if already past the inspection point. So, ibig sabihin, let's say for example, yung kanyang percentage completed as to conversion is already at 90%, tapos ang iyong inspection point 75%, ibig sabihin, nakapasa na pala siya ng inspection point. Hence, considered na siya as good units. But in this problem, hindi pa siya pwedeng ma-consider as good units because hindi pa siya nakakatuntong ng inspection point. Okay? Sir, assuming na nakapasa na siya ng inspection point, paano hatian nila sa kanilang normal loss? It will be on an EUP basis. Okay? Anong ibig sabihin doon? Anong ibig sabihin? Yung cost ng normal loss with respect to direct materials, paghahatian nila based on this ratio here. Tapos, yung conversion cost ng normal loss cost, ito naman po ang hatian nila. Kumbaga, gagawa kayo ng sarili nyong allocation fractions dito. Okay? Naintindihan? So, kumbaga, sabihin natin yung 3.5, which is ito yon. So, yung 3.5, paghahatian niya ng transferred out units at ng EWIP, ang magiging fractions nito ay 97,000 divided by, magkano ba total nito? $97,000 plus 14,500. So divided by 111,500. Then sa EWIP, magiging 14,500 divided by 111,500. Ganyan. Ibabasa nyo siya dito sa mga EUPs natin. Okay? Pero with respect sa materials pa lang yan, ibang usapan sa CC. Ibang fractions din sila. Okay? Then, after allocating the two components of your normal loss cost, i-add nyo sila yung similar cost. Materials, conversion cost. Klaro? Yun. So, that ends our free webinar for tonight. So, I hope malinaw po sa inyo si process costing. So again, thank you very much for attending this free webinar. So have a happy evening to everyone.